About halfway through the first 45 minutes, the commentator said, this is not like a David Moyes team. I beg to differ. It's exactly like a David Moyes team. It annoys the hell out of me. This happens continually. Commentators or pundits will sort of scratch their heads and wonder, bewildered, why West Ham fans are not happy with David Moyes. Then during the actual game, they'll highlight and pinpoint the reasons why we're frustrated. So during the game, the commentator was saying, oh, there's no closing down. Doesn't seem to be any urgency. They've got a low block here, but they don't seem to be defending particularly well. But as I say, the cherry on the cake was, this is not a David Moyes-like team. At West Ham, it certainly is. We are far more likely to concede 3, 4, 5 goals than we are to keep a clean sheet. I don't know what the stats are. I bet by the time I've done this video, I'll have a look. Someone will have done the stats. We're horrendous. Horrendous. I don't know what stat he was trotting out at the end, but whatever statistic it was made us basically, in a certain period of time, over half the season, our defence, the only worst defence is Sheffield United. That's how bad we are. Horrific. Normally I would do this video as a review video, which I will. I'll go through a couple of goals. Truth of the matter is I've forgotten most of them. It was just another avalanche again. I've probably seemed quite annoyed. I'm not actually that annoyed. I've probably agitated more than I've probably come across more agitated than I actually am. There was a knowing resignation to this. Actually, when I do these videos, I often think of the title, or sometimes before I upload the video, I'll start to write the title down. And I started to write embarrassing, and I thought, hold on, I think I've done that 4 or 5 times already this season. Not sure whether it was the 5 goals we conceded to Fulham, or Liverpool, or Crystal Palace, or one of the other thrashings. Maybe it's 6 goals we conceded against Arsenal. I don't know. We get thrashed a lot. Definitely probably used it when we shipped load of goals to Brighton last season, load of goals to Newcastle. Oh, you know, we're really bad. Really, really bad. And the team seems to be getting worse. I'm always reluctant to use the phrase stop playing for the manager, but certainly they've stopped playing for the tactics. Was horrendous in that game, what we asked Mohamed Kudus to do. Just in case there are a couple of Chelsea fans watching this, you know, they're obviously going to be looking for this for me to say nice things about Chelsea. I guess Chelsea were loads better than West Ham. Really good, much better. West Ham were too slow. Too slow, too old, too slow. Of course, the answer to West Ham being too old, too slow, what do you do when your team are too old, too slow? I'll tell you what you do. You bring Danny Ings and Aaron Cresswell on. That's what you do. No, look, Chelsea were much better. Much better. They're probably looking at someone like Mohamed Kudus thinking, they're probably quite confused as to what's going on there. I'll tell you where the confusion lies. They're probably seeing someone that can dribble and can, you know, seems to have a bit of ability. Playing as almost, well, I'll tell you what he is. He's the holding winger. He's a defensive wide man. Graveyard shift at West Ham, this position is. I guess he could have scored a goal. There were times when he dribbled past 3 players, but, you know, he's got to dribble past 6 or 7 to score a goal. It's actually a disgrace. I would not blame any player for not wanting to play in this team. Well, maybe defenders will see a lot of the ball and stuff like that, but for someone like Kudus, it's a disgrace. Actually, I would go as far as to say it's a dereliction of duty for a coach to put him as deep as he does. West Ham were horrendous. Horrendous. It's not like I have an inability to blame the players. I do go back and look at the Crystal Palace game. You'll see I apportioned a lot of blame to the players there. But they have stopped playing for this system. How can he honestly, when David Moyes sends them out and says, this is how we're going to line up, this is how we're going to defend, this is what we're going to do. How can any player that has played for him this season have any belief in the instruction he's going to give? It don't work. It doesn't work. Moyes ball does not work. Or this version of it. I could spend time here talking about Lucas Paquetá. Sort of played a really good pass early on in the game. Played another really good one in the second half to set up Emerson, actually. Not a lot in between. But it might be a bit odd if I were just to sit here digging Lucas Paquetá out, actually. Particularly bearing in mind what we'd seen for some others. Emerson, really poor performance. Edson Alvarez, really poor performance. Soufal was all right. well, all right. I mean, he wasn't horrendous. Could have done with his crossing being a bit better, but he tried. Bowen tried, hit the bar, hit the bar 3 times, believe it or not. It was really bad. Really, really bad. The centre-back pairing of Angelo Ogbonna and Kurt Zouma playing against a fast forward line was as bad as you thought it might have been. Whatever you feared might happen, probably happened in that game. When you saw the lineups and you thought, oh, hold on a second, those two, not great. The fact that I got nothing against Ogbonna, I think he's been a wonderful, wonderful servant for the club. He deserves better than that. So I don't blame Ogbonna. I blame David Moyes for selecting him. There is no way that we don't have players that could do better than that at centre-back. Ben Johnson, has, every time he's come on the sub, he's looked half decent. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but he'd do better than that. He deserves more than to be put in such a humiliating position against really fast, mobile players. Maybe it was the 5th goal. I think it was the 5th goal. I think Souček lost the ball. Might have not. No, do you know what? I don't even think it's the 5th goal. I think it's the 4th goal. I think it was the Jackson one. I think Emerson lost the ball. I think Emerson lost his man. Ogbonna really tried hard to get back. That was him sprinting at his very best. It was terrible. This is what happens when you get thrashed. You lose track of goals. So I'll just go through them. So the first one was the Palmer one. Ogbonna slipped. It wasn't the first time he slipped. Should have changed his boots. Perhaps Zouma could have done better for that one. Oh, we got the second one. Yeah, of course, goal number 2. That was Gallagher. No pressure in midfield. None. Awful midfield play. Unlucky ricochet, really, off of Zouma. But, how many times are we going to say unlucky? He might have been a bit unlucky with the first goal, but it sort of came off him when he was meant to be marking Jackson. But he wouldn't have fought for the first goal. Zouma wouldn't have thought the ball was coming through to him because he wouldn't have known Ogbonna was going to slip. 3-0, Madueke. Silva was unmarked. Antonio's man at that point. Madueke at the near post. He was unmarked as well. Why not? So yeah, the 4th goal was Jackson, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Unpicked by a long ball over the top. I mean, it was horrendous. Just a horrendous game of football. And I really don't know what I don't know how David Moyes is going to get through the next couple of games. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that in another video because he's not got the comfort blanket of saying he's going to go for European football. You'll know, if you're a regular watcher of this channel, I was laughing a couple of days ago when they were saying there are 3 more cup finals we're going to qualify for Europe. I looked at the mathematics and said, no, you're not. Now they're really not. So without a comfort blanket of David Moyes pretending that he's going to get the 4th season of European football, I don't even know how it's going to work. Normally, again, when I do these videos, I'll sort of search for a picture. I'll try and use a picture for the thumbnail. And I was looking for a picture of him looking confused and annoyed in front of the bench. I was looking for him in front of, obviously, the Chelsea bench for today's game. They're everywhere, these pictures. Everywhere. Of him scratching his head, looking confused, looking angry at his defence. like he's played no part in it. It's amazing. And the trouble is, I've gone out of my way for the past week or so when discussing new manager stuff, when discussing David Sullivan, when discussing Tim Steidten. I've gone out my way to try and not talk about David Moyes, just out of decency, because I know he's on his way out and I don't want to stick the boot in. But I mean, it's really hard not to. I'd like him to get a decent send-off, but this is why the people in charge at the club, they don't understand. It's stuff like this that erodes goodwill. I wasn't even worked up. I was expecting to lose today. What did I say in the build-up show? What did I say? I thought Chelsea win 4-2. I was expecting to lose. Yet it still hurts because you're a West Ham fan. It still hurts, doesn't it? To be sort of humiliated and embarrassed like that. But that's it. It's as the commentator said, he acted like it was not normal. This is strange. This is strange for a David Moyes team to be conceding so many goals. Yet later on in the same commentary, he read out the stat about Sheffield United, only Sheffield United be having a worse defence. Well, which is it? Are you surprised Or are these consistent stats? Because this is what he does. Yes, could you say that there's a lot of other things he does? Yes, but this season and a lot of last season, this is what he does. He concedes tons of goals. He can't organise a defence. He's had more backing to buy central defenders than he had anywhere. Anywhere in his career. And he spends lots of them. 30-odd million on a Gerd, what was it, 17, 18 million on Mavropanos, 30-odd million on Kurt Zouma. He's always buying central defenders. And he still can't do it. Oh, man, we look decrepit. We really do. A decrepit team. This is why it needs somebody else to come in. And honestly, it needs a new broom, Trigger's broom, sweep it out. I was really gutted for, not going to go too much about it. I was really gutted for a few of the players on that bench to see Cresswell and Danny Ings come on. He's trolling. He's trolling, isn't he? He's having a wind-up, Moyes. I've had enough. And I know, I've really tried not to say it. I really have. I've had enough of this utter crap. Honestly, we just did not seem to be able to inflict anything on them. One of the commentators said, it was the other one, to be fair. He said, you'll look at the stats and West Ham will have hit the bar 3 times, and if people watch the highlights, they might think it was a close game. It wasn't. It was very, very, very right. Bowen looked sharp, by the way. Kudus looked sharp. I don't know if Antonio looked sharp. We weren't ever able to get the ball to him. I wouldn't know. Honestly, I haven't got a clue. Because we couldn't attack. It was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Anyway, I apologise. Not really a review, is it? It's more of a rant. Look, we'll go into more detail. Patreon player ratings. Fancy join up with Patreon. We've got a 7-day free trial. That might be worth a watch, that one. Player ratings, we'll record it on Tuesday. Patreon.com/HammersChat. Links in the description below. Horrendous. Anyway, you got better things to do with your time than to be looking at YouTube, looking at your phone, looking at your laptop, listening to me saying horrendous. I don't know how many times I said it. Honestly. And I'm fine. I said, whenever I get like this, I always get messages saying, Gonzo, I hope you're okay. You seemed really... Yeah, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine, by the way. I am fine. I get a right hump. I try not to. I try, honestly. Normally I'm all right. Normally I'm quiet, I'm normally able to articulate myself a lot better than saying, horrendous. I've done it again. Horrendous. Sorry. No more horrendous. Horrendous. Plural for horrendous.